Hey, I'm Noodle Yeti, and this is the 19th part in a series I'm doing where we build a city called Westdale. If you can't tell from this view, I have the harbor included right now, and I'd like to buy that tile and start to include the Sunset Harbor DLC's fishing industry. I think that would be a great addition. It'll give a way for our river to look a lot more lively, our harbor to have more activity going on. I think it'll be great, and I can't wait to bring the fishing industry down there. Now, in order to upgrade the fishing industry, unlike the other industries, it's actually based upon fish caught, not the number of people and resources produced. So we're going to have to do that pretty early on at the start and then take care of some other things around the city while the fishing industry levels up in order to finish it out. One of the other things I'd like to do in order to while we wait for the fishing industry to level up is to actually add more population in over in that Manhattan type area. And another thing would actually be to upgrade our university. I believe we're starting to get to the point now where we're reaching capacity on the university and it's actually starting to hold back the rate at which our high density can level up. So we're going to need to go over there. We're going to need to expand upon it a little bit, add in some residential and add the fishing industry. So in order, I'm actually going to add the fishing industry first, and then I'll add in the residential, and then I'll start fixing up the university. And hopefully by then we'll have hit the next milestone and we'll have enough fishing stuff to further expand on the fishing industry. So yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here and buy this tile. 14,000. That's okay. So when there's no white tile, that means I can't buy that area. Shoot, that actually puts a wrench in my plans. I was hoping to be able to... I really wanted to buy that tile over here, and the fact that I can't buy it really inhibits what I'll be able to do over here. Because I was hoping to put the fishing industry on this side, but I wanted more room to put in the interchange over here for them. Shoot. Well, that kind of sucks. Why did they put this so close to the edge where we can't buy beyond that? That is actually upsetting. Oh well. I guess I will have to rethink my plans on how I was going to lay out the fishing industry over here. And I think while I'm considering how I want to do this area knowing I can't buy the next tile, I think I'm just going to go ahead and lay out the residential for now. I don't want to push out too much because we are starting to get into some really steep terrain. If we pull up this view, you can see the hillside comes right up to our road here. And we're going to have to push this back a little bit and somehow blend it in to make it look a little bit nicer while still expanding out this way. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start working on this area real quick. We might actually not be able to with our soil availability. And so I'm thinking, because we get flooding over here, I'd like to build this area up with dirt, create a giant berm, so that way when those weird little miniature tsunamis come down the river, they don't overlap and flood into our industry area anymore. So I'm going to first start with that, and then I'll go over there and build into the new residential areas. Alright, so I think this is good enough for now. I'm just going to go ahead and let this fill in, let them upgrade. I've added in city services, so our financial district is actually starting to level up now, as you can see. It was missing fire, police, and I believe post office was lacking quite a bit. I also put down some banks around town just to help that mechanic of the game out. For the most part, I've done all high density homes on this right hand side, but in between the homes and the main road I put offices. Oh, nope, I am not done yet. Alright, so here we are. I've gotten the whole newer neighborhoods laid out over there. It looks a little silly behind them with the way the dirt ends up. So some of the places that I've noticed in real life around where I live, when there's a big hill or a steep hill right behind where they want to build... Oh, I think we hit an academic here. But if there's a steep hill or something right behind where they want to build homes, they cut into it and then they just use that as the back of the building. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we can do that here in City Skylines, but that is okay. I think I can go ahead and live with this little cliff behind them, as long as I'm knowing that they actually put like all the braces and things there, or they built the building into it. Looks like we have a huge influx of people moving in now that I just massively zoned everything all at once, so that should work out on its own, given enough time. Although, it does look like I could upgrade this roundabout as well to the same as the other side. So I think that's what I'm going to do right now, because I still haven't quite figured out how I'd like to lay out this fishing area now that I know that I can't buy the tile beyond it. But let me go ahead and upgrade all the roundabouts around town, and hopefully I'll have a thought or buy then. Alright, so I've gone around town and upgraded every roundabout except for this one to have a higher capacity. The reason why I didn't do this one is because it has the tram that runs along it, and unfortunately there is no 3-lane road with tram tracks, 3-lane one-way road with tram tracks, so this one will have to do with being a little bit less on capacity. That's okay, and I've also upgraded many of the roads around town, such as this one, to become 6-lane roads. I think that actually helps support the idea that this is the through route, and that all these 4-lane ones that come off and that go into commercial and office and high density are all just ways to collect people off of this main big road or out of those little areas. And it does in fact look like our traffic has cleared up since then, so I think the rush of people moving in is over. As far as the thoughts I've had with how I'm going to go about doing the fishing area over here, if we get out of this view, we could see how close this is to this border that we just cannot cross unless we use mods. But I was thinking about putting the off-ramp right here, just right here, have it aimed down this way. And then I want the fishing industry to hug this quay wall, and I want to bring this quay wall all the way down and connect it up into the main quay wall we have going through this entire area over here. I'll have the road follow it all along, all the way down to the very end over here. And the way I was thinking about it is if when we get the ones for like shellfish or anchovies, those fishing piers will be over here towards the end to give them quick and easy access outside of the city area. Which, if you didn't know, you can do fishing routes outside of your buildable land. You just can't build anything outside of it. Fishing routes, I think, are the only ones you could do outside of the tiled area. Anyways, and then closer over here towards the right-hand side for things like regular fishing and salmon fishing. I don't think we can do tuna on this map. If we open up our fishing view, looks like we only have 2 really tiny spots of tuna fishing, and I don't think that's enough to make any sort of impact, so I'm not going to bother trying to reach these and have people have people fish for tuna. So I think I'm just going to stick with anchovies, shellfish, and salmon. And I kind of want the like farms to be on the inside here, closer to where we'd have things like the cargo harbors and the civilian harbors, tourist harbors. I think it would look kind of cool, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the freeway off-ramp here, go down, have it connect up into the fishing area here that will have its own access road all the way down into the area here, but also have freeway access. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get into laying this out. I will be right back. Alright, so as I was going through, I realized something. I have to rebuild this bridge as well as this train bridge as well. The reason for that is because if we ever want to include ferries going all the way down and connecting up the main city over there all the way down to our harbor and our fishing industry, this isn't going to be tall enough. So if we look at this, we go into our ship, we go into our ferry line, we can't build through here. No matter where it is, it just will not go through because these bridges are too low, which is just unfortunate. So I'm gonna have to go through, build these up higher, and then I'll be able to finish out my quay wall and road that parallels it. right, so I've got the basis of the fishing area laid out over here. So far, I only have 2 fishing harbors, just the generic ones, and 2 generic fish farms. And I also put down a bunch of just generic offices all along the edge here. I just kind of want to make it look a little bit more full. Maybe those could be like, I don't know, where they process, like in our minds, they could be where they process the fish or something like that, just to make it look like the harbor has a little bit more life going on to it. And then I also put down the fish market. I haven't put down anything else yet, like the, what is it called? I forget what it's called. The fish factory. I haven't put down the fish factory yet, but I think once this starts to advance and we start to unlock even more of these things like the anchovy fishing harbor and the algae farm, that's when we can go ahead and start to add in the fish factory. So I had mentioned that this is going to take time to level up, just like our population is going to take time to fill in. And it's during this time that I actually want to pay attention to our education. If we open up our education tab and look at university, you could see we are behind by about 5,000. And if we come over to our university and look at it, it's almost at capacity, which means we definitely need to expand a little bit. So I'm thinking about adding in enough of this to reach the 450 campus attractiveness. Maybe I could add in a couple more barracks. Anyways, I think I'm just going to go ahead and try and get through it while also increasing our student capacity. Just a little bit. I'm not too worried about raising it by too much. I just want to fill this out a little bit more. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work on this real quick. I will be right back. All right, so I have expanded upon our trade school here, and I think this is going to be everything. This is going to be exactly how I'm going to leave it for the rest of time. And I believe it has a capacity of around 1,600 now, so if we come in here, yep. When I first started filling it up, it had reached a student capacity of almost maximum, so we were definitely needing more of it. But now that I've built down the second one, it's dropped down to about 1,100. And this one over here has definitely started to fill up as well. We just need to get it we just need to get its academic works up, and it'll be able to level up. And I think this is the one that I want to focus on for the rest of the build, considering we're starting to move more into things like IT cluster, the financial district, and things like that. I think this particular university is probably the one we need to focus more on. So I gave it more space over here than I did with the trade school. And yeah, I think that's good. And I think we should probably check up on our fishing industry to see if it's starting to catch up now. So it looks like we need about another 80,000 in fish. in order to get the next 2 fishing harbors. And then for the algae farms, we are not even halfway. It looks like we're around a third until the next one, the algae farm. So I think I actually have some errands to run, so I think I'm probably just gonna let this run in the background while I go do those things. And hopefully our fishing industry will have caught up and we will hit the next milestone. So yeah, I will see you in the future. Alright, so we have reached the next fishing milestone, which is the anchovy and the salmon, as well as not as well as anything else. So those are the only 2 that we get to add in now. So the anchovy one is going to be found out in the ocean. If we go back into our fish view here, all the yellow is anchovy. So basically you need to have a fishing route that goes through that and comes back. And as far as salmon, salmon is all the pink, so basically everything in the river. So the salmon one I intend on adding right here next to this fishing harbor here, or fishing dock, and having it run through the river here. And then I want the anchovy one towards the end over here, and have its route run along this coast all the way out there and back. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 laid out, and hopefully we get the next fish farm, or we hit the next milestone, which it looks like we're getting really close. I'm assuming it's probably going to be around 4,500 or maybe 4,600, somewhere around there. So yeah, let me get these 2 fishing things added in. Alright, so I've got the new salmon fishing harbor and anchovy fishing harbor with their routes all set up. Salmon is at 100%. Anchovy hasn't finished its route yet, so we don't know how efficient it's going to be. But I don't doubt it's going to be around 100% as well. I think our little dock area is starting to look really good. And if we come in here, we're still not quite to the next algae farm yet, but that is okay. We'll get there soon enough. Population is definitely booming. It looks like we're only about 500 away from the next milestone here, so we should be reaching that fairly quickly. Shouldn't take too long. Oh, high-rise buildings are... Wait, I didn't realize the high-rise ban prevented them from getting to level 5. So basically I would have to go through here, make them all historical, and then take off the high-rise ban. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to do that real quick, and hopefully we don't hit our milestone while I'm doing this. All right, well, that was quite the amount of sound going on there. I made all the ones that I wanted to make historical, which was pretty much this one block here right next to all the wall-to-wall, and everything that is along the coast here. Just not on this side. Obviously, this side's already leveled up to 5 out of 5. But this should give us an influx of citizens as well, which is kind of neat. So maybe that'll help push us into the next milestone. I'm not quite sure how I feel about all this space in between the 2 sides of this main road here. I'm thinking I should probably just go ahead and fill it in with offices, but I'm not quite sure. I could leave it and fill it in with pathways and trees and everything like that, or I could embrace this metropolis type look and just go ahead and fill it in with more offices. I'm not quite sure. I think this thing's ready to be upgraded again, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit that button. There we go. I mean, okay, that looks a little ridiculous. Maybe I should have just kept it as the building before, but it is what it is. What's done is done. Can't control that. Oh, there we go. Isn't that the limit? All right, there we go. Colossal City, 46,000. We unlock another tile, which means we now have 2 tiles we could use to purchase things, I think. We could buy helicopters, helicopter pathways. Ooh. I think I know what I want to do in the next part now, just by looking at this. We got a harbor bus hub, harbor bus monorail, floating cafe, nuclear power, the cargo hub, which is the shipping and train station, I believe. We have harbor ferry, aero park, helicopter stop, helicopter night. Oh, and ocean thermal energy. So we got ocean thermal and nuclear power. Right on. So there we go. That's what I wanted to hit. We have, I believe, 2 more tiles we could buy. Now that we know that we can't buy the one to the right of this, that is very unfortunate. I think the next 3 that I'd like to buy are going to be up top on this side that I'm mousing over right now. Buying those 3, and then I'm not quite sure where I'd buy the last one, because that'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we could buy 1 more tile. I think maybe the last tile I'd buy is this one right here by the river's edge, or the mouth of the river. I don't know why they call it a mouth if the water only ever comes out of it, but maybe that one just is the kind of final thing to help even out this harbor area, so it doesn't have this solid line that we can't cross. Alright, so we got our algae farm now that we can go ahead and place down. I'm going to put it down over here. Looks like we're only going to be able to fit 1 more farm over here, and then we're going to have to think about somewhere else. Or I could just go ahead and... Ooh, actually I don't think I can put it there with where that main road is. Doesn't look like I'll be able to put it off on this side either. It's unfortunate because we have 1 more farm we have to place after this. Maybe we could put the seaweed farm on this side. And for now, we can go ahead and put this one over here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll be right back and get this all laid out. Here we are. I've got everything all laid out. I've even added in a few fishing piers, parks, just so that way people can come out and fish on their own if they'd like. I even added in this floating cafe, which I think we just got. And I think this really adds a nice touch to this. Since it's, you know, the fishing harbor, you come, you eat your dinner there or something, and you just feel like you're getting something fresh caught. I mean, you probably are, but at least it feeds into that kind of feeling where you're going into the harbor and eating some fresh fish. I also decided to add in this fish factory over here that'll produce commercial zone goods. Just because, you know, it'd be kind of nice to, I don't know, round out the fishing industry. But it won't be for a while until I put down the rest of this, which is the shellfish fishing harbor. I'm not going to do the tuna one since I think we've already established there's not enough tuna on this map to put one down. And then I'm also going to put down the seaweed farm later on, and then that will be it for fishing. I really just wanted to fill out this side of the harbor, make it look like This place is starting to get used and we're starting to think about moving over here. I really like it. And I hope you guys do too. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your viewership. And I look forward and hope to see you in the next one. That's about it. Bye-bye.